Hello, everyone, and welcome to ORL round number 7 from the Las Vegas Speedway. How you all doing out there? I am Corey for the Aussie Sim commentator. Now, I do have to take off very shortly just for a quick little moment, but I will be back. So, we're just going to stick here with practice for a little bit and just watch to see how the cars are going here for round number 7. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am back. Having a quick little look at the standings so far, we have Dylan Alt, a fairly newcomer to the league, sitting currently in P1 with a 30.616 in the 42 car. In second place, we have Tommy Bordeaux with a 30.627. Steve Turner sitting in P3. Charles Becker in 4. Jaron Sanchez in P5. Austin Hakes in 6. Brandon Bennett 7. Thomas Harmon in P8. That's a surprise. Robert Collins out of P9. Matt Burgess out of 10. And Mark Pentecoff sitting in P11. So now I'm going to take this opportunity to take you guys in a car to see how it feels to run around this racetrack. I just got to move one of these overlays that I got as we come out onto the track. Danke. Now on a first lap you can run flat out in 3 and 4 coming out of the pits. Now this middle line is probably the best, but I'm just going to be running down low mostly. You want to get a really good run out, run right down near the line, sometimes directly over it, just like that, to get a good run going. Just let out of the gas very slightly in 1 and 2. Again, just trying to stay on that that middle lane there, and run it all the way out to the wall. You want to be off the gas for a little bit longer in 3 and 4 just to settle the car. Keep running that middle line, get the momentum up from going slightly higher. And as you can see, I'm turning the best lap that I've turned this session. You can also run the higher line, or as some like to do, run the Larson line. Later on in the run, that might become a line that we see a few people take. Early on in the going, it is a little bit slower though, as you can see. The pit road entrance here, as you can see, is just out of turn 4. It can be a little bit difficult to get them to, but as long as you hit it right, then you should be fine. You want to get off the track onto the apron a little bit before where the line for it opens up. It's very easy to overshoot. And as you can see right there, I was probably a little bit fast coming in, but I got it slowed up just in time. And that is our quick little look at the track here. Places to be aware of for the race will probably be coming out of turn 2.
Stop on the sign.
And going through the tri-oval. As we wait forever for iRacing to let me get out of my car. So let's have a look at a few of the guys that we've got out here today. Right now we're looking at the 12 car of Matt Burgess, currently sitting in the 10th position. Then we have league frontrunner Steve Turner in the 13, also on track, running a new paint scheme. A very patriotic looking paint scheme at that. So guys, if you are watching, then let me know in the comments, who do you think is going to win this race? And also, let's take this time to welcome broadcast partner Brogan Pickett Norris into the commentary booth. Hey Brogan, how are you doing, man?
No, not too bad. How's everyone out there and yourself?
Oh, I'm doing pretty alright, mate. I hear you had some unfortunate circumstances happen for your real life racing aspects that you crew for.
Yes, indeed. But all you can do is just move on, try and get onto another car, or just move on in life.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate, man. Well, I hope something comes up for you soon in that respect. But we're here to commentate on this league today, as we see
Yes, indeed.
Steve there coming out of turn two, just smacked up into the wall, and he's now gone down towards the infield. Also on track, we have Mark Pentecuff in the two car. Right in front of him, we have the 11 of Robert Collins. And Trevor Harmon, he is stopped on the apron there. Looks like in turn three, maybe? Yep, turn three. That was a good guess. So that's a little bit weird. Let's go on and have a look at Austin Hakes here. Austin's currently in the fourth position overall with a 30.704. Alright, we're just gonna go focus on crashes for a little bit while we wind down this final 9 minutes of practice.
Alrighty, so we see on my screen at least, Thomas Harmon. Oh, now we've gone over to Steve Turner, who's in his patriotic paint. Nope, gone to. Oh, we're just going everywhere by the looks of it because iRacing, I guess you could say, doesn't know where it wants to focus on. But we're on Austin Hakes at the moment. He's just coming out of the pits probably for one last run to see if he can make his run that much faster, I guess. Now it's Brian Stones. He's either coming in, yeah, he's coming out actually, in the Monster Energy Toyota Camry. I haven't had a run here unfortunately, but maybe one day for sure. Thomas Harmon now, he's won 3 races in a row so far, so hopefully someone can beat that and get a win today. Austin Hakes coming into the pits. Seems like he's keeping a steady pace. Back to Thomas Harmon again. Gone for a low line, turn in, sliding up to the mid for the exit, and up to the top. The number 11 of Robert Collins coming into pit lane, either practicing coming in, and Charles Becker coming out. He might get a black flag for going over the What line? Back to Austin Hakes. Coming out. Got a little bit squirrely, probably got on the gas a little bit too much. Back to Charles Becker. Steve, well, we're going on to Steve. Nope. Robert Collins again. Obviously, iRacing has a mind of its own right now. But looks like he's taking the mid-low, we call it, between the mid and the low line. Back to Austin Hakes, which is in position 4. Let's see if he can better his time, hopefully. Back to Robert Collins, who's in position 9th at the moment. Nope, back to Austin Hakes, probably doing a... Oh, Steve Turner into the wall already at turn 2. Robert Collins, he's in position 9 in practice at the moment. And we just click over to 4 minutes to go until practice is over for everybody. Charles Becker, position 5. He's been going good this season. He's been going too shabby. Thomas Harmon, man to beat with 3 wins in a row. Been doing very good this season. He's up there in points. He's in position 8 for practice, but hopefully he surprises us in qualifying. Steve Turner, position 3. He's been going okay as well. Got a very nice scheme going on by the looks of it. Very patriotic. Coming into we had a little wiggle in turn 1 there. Comes out of 2. Nope, we're going to Brian Stones. Probably doing a... Oh no, he's got some damage on his car. I thought he was coming in for a green flag pit stop entry practice. Steve Turner up on the high, bringing you down low. And Thomas Harmon probably had some issues there. On the clock we have about over 2 minutes to go. Thomas obviously going out for another run.
No, I think we'll just sit here and focus on Thomas for a little bit, because he is usually one of the faster guys, but he did say to us last week in his winner's interview that this is one of his bogey tracks. And that shows, because he's only got the 5th fastest time so far in this race session. Now guys, just for a little bit of useless information, including Mr. Pickett Norris and myself, the strength of field for this race, in the field of 14 that we have got, 12 of them being racers and 2 of us being commentators, is a 21:32. So the guys that are racing in this are not slouches by any stretch of the imagination. Of course, to compete in this league, you need to have at least a C-Class 2.0 license, and you need to have at least a respectable I rating as well. As you can see, Thomas there has stopped his run. And that is the end of practice there, guys. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back when the cars start to grid up for the race. back for the start of the race. Race number 7 of the Output Racing League from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Alright, after qualifying, we have Thomas Harmon starting from P1. Out of P2, we have got Steve Turner. P3, we have Dylan Alt, the new driver to the league. On his outside is Austin Hakes. Out of P5, we have Jaron Sanchez, the league owner and operator. On his outside, Tommy Bordeaux. Out of P7, we have Charles Becker in the 16. And P8 is the 41 of Brandon Bennett. In P9, we have the 18 car of Brian Stones. On his outside is the 12 of Matt Burgess. And P11, we have Robert Collins in car 11, funnily enough. And on his outside, starting from last but not least, Mark Pentecoff in the 2 car. And as we're starting to roll off to get ready to start this race, things are going to start getting interesting. Alright, we're going to watch this one from the right rear suspension of Thomas Harmon, looking back at the rest of the pack as he gets ready to take off away from this field. Remember, the first start is on green. As we're coming around turns 3 and 4 now, these drivers must be having a million things going through their mind as we're getting ready to take the green flag to start round number 7 of the Output Racing League here live from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The pace car will be on his way in now. And we are off and away for round number 7 of the Output Racing League from the Las Vegas Speedway. Really close action here between the 2 leaders, Thomas Harmon and Steve Turner. Fairly even start. Looks like Thomas has got the advantage. 3rd and 4th are still side by side, but it looks like Dylan in the 3rd place there, the Output Racing League rookie, might have the advantage, and in fact he does. This is his first race for ORL, and he's already looking very impressive. They're side by side for P5 there between, it looks like Jaron and the 57 car, and the 57 has got the advantage over Jaron, and he's falling back into the clutches of the 16. As we have a look at Steve Turner trying to make a pass on Thomas there, couldn't quite pull it off, and now he has the rookie Dylan right up his clacker. Close, fast action here in this 7th round of the racing season. It looks like Thomas has built himself up a unassailable margin early in the goings here, to the tune of about 0.4 of a second. As we have a look now back at the 13 of Steve, looking quick early on, has fallen off from Thomas a little bit. And it looks like Jaron is also falling back quite a bit there. We might go check in with him right now. And there he is. He's fallen back to the 7th position, trying to make his way around the inside of the 16 car, as they are also side by side behind Jaron. And it looks like Jaron's attempting to make the move. Can he get it done here in 1 and 2? He's got the bumper on him. As we have a look back here at this other side-by-side battle between the 41 and the 18. It looks like the 41 has lost all of his momentum down there on the inside and started to fall back. He's just been passed by Matt Burgess in the 12th. As Mark Pentecoff coming up behind him. And Jaron has made the overtake on the 16. And the 16 is trying to make his way back up. That's Charles Becker, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to make his way back up on the inside of Jaron, but Jaron's got the momentum up high now. Diamond's down a little bit off the middle of the corner, and he has the advantage, and he has that 6th position. As the top 5 has skipped away from Jaron and Charles there, they got a little bit of a gap over them. And it looks like Steve is still hungry to try and get that lead away from Thomas. And right behind Steve is still the 42. League rookie Dylan is right there, the 42 car. Right behind Dylan is Austin Hakes, followed by Tommy Bordeaux. But Steve is looking hungry. He wants this lead. He wants to try and get a win. He wants to get back on top of the standings. And it looks like now we have league rookie trying to make a move on Steve. Dylan has gotten up to the inside of Steve. Can he get the run down low going through the apron? He's following the line of the leader Thomas. Couldn't quite get it done and slots back up into the 3rd position there. Absolutely close tight racing here for our top 5. And it looks like they're also starting to get caught up by Jaron in the 4. Jaron has got a little bit of a gap over Charles now, and is absolutely coming up to the back of these 5 in front of him. As we're still focused on Steve in 2nd place, because it's the best way to see the action. We go back to the 42 because it looked like the 28 there of Austin was just about to try and make a move on him. Thought better of it going into turn 1. Austin trying to look for a way around Dylan now. Doesn't look like he can find a place where he can get a good enough run. As Dylan now has a little bit of a peek on the outside of Steve. Don't think he can quite get it done, and Austin is going to say, thank you, that is the gap that I needed to try and get a pass on you. He goes to the low side of Dylan. Can he get the position? I think Dylan might have gotten into the wall a little bit there, but it was only just a small tap if it was, and he gets the momentum up high, cuts him down low, and just takes that position back and keeps his 3rd position there. And as you can see, Jaron has made his way to the back of this pack, making it now a 6-car battle for the lead. And Thomas has skipped away just very slightly though from Steve and Dylan. And Steve and Dylan have a little bit of a gap over Austin. And Jaron now looks like he's trying to make a move on Tommy for 5th position. Going up on his inside, coming through turn 3. Can he get the move done into turn 4? And it looks like he's got the bumper ahead. He goes down to the apron. And he has got the move done. He is now up into P5. And he slots Tommy back into P6. Apart from that, there is no change in the top 5. Thomas, Steve and Dylan are still 1, 2 and 3. Austin's still in P4. Austin now looks like he's trying to make a move. Oh, look at that, 3 wide. Coming out of turn 4, 3 wide for 2nd, 3rd and 4th there. Jaron was almost licking his lips in anticipation there. As we see, oh, some contact there with Dylan checking up a little bit. Austin got into the back of him, and it looked like Jaron might have gotten into the back of Austin a little bit. Close, fast racing, and just behind the pack there, it looks like the 16 has made his way around Tommy and taken the 6th position. But you can see, as a byproduct of all that checkup, there is now a few gaps starting to emerge in between some of these drivers. Looks like Thomas has skipped out to nearly a full 2nd lead. And Steve has got a little bit of a gap over Dylan as well, as we see 3 wide just behind this leading pack. Very briefly there. Unfortunately, I'm not fast enough on the buttons. I came to the gyro cam instead. As we're looking at Austin, can Jaron make a move on Austin coming through turns 1 and 2? It looks like he might have the run underneath here. He's gone to mid-track in the back straight, and he's got the position over Austin. Austin might have gotten into the wall. Oh, we got a little bit of a sideways action there. I'm not sure what happened between Austin and the 16 there, but it didn't look good. And we are under caution for the first time in this race. We'll have to see if we can go back and have a look at what happened there. Oh, that was the 16 and the 12. Matt Burgess was in that. Let's just rewind this very quickly and see what we can see. The 16 got very loose just previous to this accident. We slow it right down. So 16 has no momentum at all. And it looks like, yeah, Matt's just running his line. Couldn't check up in time. Just taps the back of the 16. Then gets tapped by the 41 as well. That's Brandon Bennett there. And the 16 goes for a spin. And it looks like, unfortunately, Matty Burgess gets into the wall there as well. So he'll have a bit of front and side damage there, which is unfortunate for the young fella. He's not one of the faster guys, but he's definitely one who sits up towards the front a bit. Well, I say that, but he's probably also one of the ones that goes down fairly often. It looks like the 41 also has a bit of front end damage here. That's a little bit weird. Was not expecting that, and it looks like he is also the only car to not pit at the moment. He must be going for those leader lap points that are on offer. It's coming up on the back straight here. The cars that have pitted already will be starting to come up behind him very shortly. We'll stick with the 41 for just a couple of seconds to see if he will indeed go for a pit stop. And yep, the 41 of Brendan Bennett has made that left-hand turn to go into the pits, which brings Thomas back into the lead of this race. Steve Turner is right behind him in P2, maybe? I don't see Steve on the track, though. And in fact, no, he's not there. He's dropped back to third. So I've got Thomas Harmon, then Dylan Alt, the rookie to the series, is in P2. Steve is in P3, and Jaron Sanchez in P4. But it looks like Jaron might actually be in front of Steve here. I'm not sure what's going on. Steve must have had a bad pit stop. And yet, in fact, Jaron is going to be restarting out of P3, Steve out of P4. And right behind them, they got Brian Stones in the 18 car. Now, I'm not sure what's going on, but Trading Paints isn't working. This is not Thomas's normal paint job. So we'll have to see what's going wrong there and look into it for fixing that next week when we go to the ISM Speedway in Phoenix. And it looks like we've also got Austin Hakes going into the pits again. I'm not sure what's going on there. It looks like he might be wanting to start from the back of the pack. But it's definitely weird that he's going in for another pit stop now. I'm not sure if this was scheduled or not, whether he's doing a Jaren or not. But it looks like he's getting 4 tyres and fuel. Maybe he was just getting the fuel for the fuel strategy. As the lights are out on the pace car, we're going to go green this time by with Thomas Harmon on the pole spot. And Jaren starting out of P3 there. On this restart, we're going to look at it from the gyro cam in Jaren's car. The gyro cam is one of the best innovations to in-car cameras, because it'll stay perfectly flat while the track goes onto its banking here, which is pretty trippy. The pace car is in, and Thomas is off and away. Dylan quickly slots himself into second. It looks like Jaren is clean and clear in P3. But it looks like he's going to try and make a move on Dylan here coming into turn 1 and 2. He has the low run going. He's taking that trademark mid-track. We're going to look from the inside of Steve here. It doesn't look like Jaren quite got the pass on. In fact, Steve was looking to the outside. Jaren couldn't quite get that pulled off. As Jaren takes a little bit of a last in line on the exit, everyone except Steve taking the apron, and in fact Steve is being overtaken by Brian Stones. Oh, a little bit of door rubbing there. Looks like there wasn't much going on into it though. And Brian's starting to drop back. Tommy Bordeaux is coming around his outside. But Brian is still right there on the inside of Tommy. Tommy has the position clean and clear now. Brian has dropped back into what I believe to be the 6th position. As we go back and have a look at these front running guys, it looks like Thomas has built himself a little bit of a gap coming out of turn 2 there. We're 22 laps down in this 80 lap race. And Thomas, sorry, as always, he reckons that this is one of his bogey tracks. He told us that last week. And we see Austin starting from the back. He's already made his way up in front of the 16 there. He's right behind the 11 as well. That's Robert Collins right in front of him. Can he get the move done and start improving his position even more? As we see a very spirited battle going on for the wooden spoon there at the back. But we're going to go back and have a look at these guys out the front. Now Jaren's been running out of fuel a lot lately, so let's hope he's got those issues sorted out, because in this kind of a position we don't want to see him choke it. And it looks like Dylan's just gotten into the wall there. Coming out of turn 4, Jaren's got him on the inside. And it looks like Steve might also get him on the inside. Can he get the speed going again to try and get past? It looks like he's just got the position, but Dylan comes back on the outside. What a great fight. And that is for P4 there. Looks like Dylan has the position over Steve, but Steve is not going to let this just die. As we now have a look from the bumper of Thomas back at the 4 of Jaren Sanchez. Jaren's right there. He's only 0.2 of a second back. which is almost nothing in oval terms. You can see Jaren's got a bit of a gap over Dylan, who is still holding on to that third position. And now we're having a look from the front of Steve at the back of the 42 car, Dylan, the league rookie. And it looks like Jaren is actually on the inside of Thomas up ahead. Can he get that pass done? He's definitely got the position. I don't think he quite got the pass done. Couldn't quite see it because Dylan's car got it in the way. And no, Jaren didn't quite get that pass done, unfortunately. And the 4 and the 28 are still battling away very hard here at the moment. Looks like Jaren has got the run going on the inside. Can he hold on to it? Can he get this first position off of Thomas? Thomas has the momentum up high. And at the line, Thomas still just had the lead. It must have been only thousandths of a second in it. And oh no, Jaren has tapped Thomas and it has all gone wrong. Brian's gotten into the back of Thomas as well. And that promotes Steve up into P2. It looks like Tommy has made his way up into the third position there as well. Oh, I'm not sure. I think Jaren might have to have something to answer for there, because it looked like he quite clearly got onto the left rear quarter panel there of Thomas. But otherwise, everything is looking pretty good here in the top 5 still. Steve has made his way up into P2 as I alluded to before. Tommy Bordeaux's up into P3. It looks like Dylan's only dropped back to 4th, while Thomas has dropped back to P5. He did warn us that this was one of his bogey tracks, but I didn't think that he knew that his bogey was going to be a Jaren Sanchez. As we have a look now at the back of the pack at this battle going on here, it looks like we got Brandon Bennett and Matt Burgess. And is that Austin Hakes as well back there? It is indeed. Austin has slipped all the way back to there. Absolutely spirited battle going on there. No one wants to be the wooden spoon. If you were raised with a wooden spoon, you know what I'm talking about. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I was muted there. But yeah, Jaron has fallen all the way back to 5th there, and Dylan Alt has assumed the lead of this motor race, which is absolutely crazy. As you can see, Jaron did have to back up a little bit in his pit box. Ran a little bit far and was getting a little bit frustrated that his crew was not working fast enough. But in saying that, Jaron is running faster lap times than everyone else, so let's see what he can do to make up some time as he's coming up to the back of Thomas Harmon here. Let's have a look from Jaron's roll bar. Jaron's running the high line, Thomas is running down low. Jaron with a big run on him, does the switchback high to low. Thomas is still sitting right there on his outside, but concedes the position. That is Jaron up into P4, Thomas back down into P5. Jaron is definitely the pace setter in this race right now, running the fastest laps of everyone.
So it looks like that Jaron has ended his fuel troubles then, hopefully.
Well, we'll just wait and see, because you never know, he might get a fuel leak and just randomly run out of fuel.
Well, with 28 to go, he'll be hoping not.
He would hope not, but anything can happen in this world, especially when it comes to Jaron Sanchez and fuel mileage.
Especially the memes that we've been seeing in the Output Racing League Discord.
Oh yes, the memes are definitely strong, especially the ones that Jaron posts himself. As we can see, his cheerleader has entered the chat, Elisa Sanchez. I hope you're doing well. And Jaron turned out the fastest lap of the last lap with a 31.228. Let's see what he does this time. He's done a 31.266, so no doubt that will be the fastest time of the lap again. He's currently 6/10 faster than the leader, Steve Turner, who has gotten around Dylan Alt. We were focusing so much on Jaron, we didn't even see the overtake. How about that?
This is breaking news that he's up here. Some would say in the last few races of the bad luck he has had.
Especially when it comes to fuel mileage. I mean, he is not usually too good when it comes to fuel mileage races this season, but it seems that he does have his troubles sorted out now. And being the last person to make your green flag pit stop is definitely a brave choice to make. Oh, as we see Steve get into the wall coming off of turn 2, he's gone all the way down to the apron. And he has lost the position back to Dylan Alt. And Mark Pentecoff there, lap cars on his outside as well. That was a big hit for Steve coming out of turn 2. That might have damaged his car a little bit. Let's hope it's not too bad for the rest of this race. And right behind these two, we do have Tommy Bordeaux, and Jaron is coming. Steve, who will be absolutely gutted with himself, is trying to get back past Dylan there in the 42. Taking the super low line on the apron through the tri-oval. He's got the run. He's got the pass made. Dylan back into P2. Steve back up into P1. And right behind these three, as you can see, there is the yellow and black car, the Output Racing Aussie Sim commentator, Speedway memes, number 4 of Jaron Sanchez. Just got around the lap car of Mark Pentecoff. Is now making his march towards the first 3 cars. As we can see that the 57 of Tommy Bordeaux is trying to make a move on Dylan Alt now. Went down to the inside to the real bumpy section of the track. It looks like he's gotten that move done.
And Jared has just gotten a huge jump up to them, even more.
I think he
Those
might have gotten a
switch
little
tyres
bit
are
of...
coming into play.
They definitely are for sure, Brogan. I think he might have also gotten a little bit of a tap from Mark to give him that little bit of a speed boost. As Jaron's trying to find his way around Dylan now. See Steve taking a really high line, almost a Larson line there. Try and get the momentum to fend off the challenge from Tommy Bordeaux. And Jaron has made his way to the inside of Dylan to try and take that 3rd position away from him, and he has got it.
Quite successfully too.
As he's starting to make his work on the back of Tommy Bordeaux. We're going to go into the cockpit of Dylan here. This is a new innovation. We're actually in the driver's head, watching this battle unfold in front. Oh, as Dylan is actually coming into the pits. Dylan's coming into the pits. That might have been because he made a very early pit stop and he knew that he couldn't make it on fuel. And I can also see on my little timing screen here that Thomas Harmon has gone a lap down. So there's some breaking news right there. And Tommy Bordeaux has made a pass on Steve Turner for the lead. Steve looks like he might be starting to struggle with his tyres a little bit. Falling also into the clutches of Jaron now. Oh, Tommy's hit the wall. Coming out of turn 2, Tommy Bordeaux hit the wall. He's only just gotten the lead. It looks like he's about to give it back to Steve. In fact, Tommy looks like he's going to come into the pits as well. And so is Jaron. Jaron's followed him into the pits. So this is interesting. Jaron must think that these guys are coming in to make their last pit stops. In fact, there's a lot of people making pit stops now. Seems like one person's blinked and everyone's following suit. What will Steve do? Steve's going to come into the pits now as well. So we're only left with the 11 of Robert on track.
Oh no, he spun out at pit entry.
Oh no!
Gone into the wall.
That is absolutely guttering for Steve. He is one of the front runners in the championship. I can just imagine it now. He will be cussing himself out really hard in the Discord. He knew how important it was for him to get a good result here and try and beat Tommy and Austin. Especially with the likes of Thomas and Austin having such bad runs in this race. Back to the action on track. We have the 11 of Robert Collins actually in the lead of this race.
2 and 3 and 4.
Oh, what's going on here? Something just happened with the 13 there. I think he spun coming out of the pits. And in fact, he has. Not only did he spin on his way into the pits, he spun on the way out of the pits. Oh, wow, that was close.
He'll be spewing about that.
And we now have a safety car out, and Steve is in it again. Let's have a look at what's happened. Steve running very slowly as he gets up onto the track. And he just gets loose coming through turn 3 there. I seen the 18 was also involved. And this is not looking good for Steve at all. Big drifty going through 3 and 4 on the apron. He's just lost it there. He's locked it up. And he's come back out onto the track. Tried to release the brake to get it to spin, and it just won't. And he's come right up into the path of the 18 of Brian Stones there. Oh, that was a really hard hit. I hope the drivers are okay. But that has definitely shaken things up a bit. As we go have a look at the field now, looks like we're going to have most people coming into pit. Jaron has stayed out. We've got a lot of people coming in for fresh tyres, but Jaron is staying out on track. And right in front of Jaron is Austin Hanks, who looks like he's looking for a wave around.
You know, I believe that on my screen, Jaron has got the lead now.
He does indeed. He stayed out, and everyone else on the lead lap has pitted, including Robert Collins, who is now up into P2. Running mid to backpack the entire race. Robert, who qualified in 11th, is scored as being in P2 behind Jaron. As we see a few more people hit the pit road. So your top 5 as it stands right now, we've got Jaron Sanchez in first, Robert Collins in P2, Tommy Bordeaux is in third, Charles Becker is in fourth, and 41 of Brandon Bennett P5. But right behind Brandon is the 38 of Thomas Harmon. What can he do from there? That will be the big question. And can Robert hold on to his second place? If he can, it'll be absolutely miraculous. And what can Jaron do with old tyres? And even though he did only just come in for a pit stop, everyone else has fresh tyres where he does not. Alright, the lights are out on the pace car. We're going green this time by. We will have 8 laps to go in this race here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And we're going to ride on board with Jaron for this restart. And we're going to watch out of his right rear suspension there. As we're looking back at the 57 of Tommy Bordeaux, and on his outside here is the 11 of Robert Collins. As we can see, the Output Racing logo on the side of Jaron's car and the Aussie Sim commentator on the quarter panel, WPNZ and ZD. And Jaron is off and away, and the 11 spun his tyres on the start. He has caused problems. Oh, and we have a rollover. Oh, that is not good at all. That was the 16 of Charles Becker there, rolling over at the start-finish line. No caution. We will go back and have a look at that though. Yep, the 11 just spun his tyres. The 16 paid for it. And just for his troubles, he got another whack from the 11. As we go back to the leader of this race now, right behind him is Tommy Bordeaux. And we only have 6 cars left circulating on the track, on the lead lap at least. And Jaron is under pressure from Tommy. Tommy has fresh tyres, Jaron does not. Will this be Jaron's first win of the season? We will find out very soon. With just 5 laps to go now in this race. Can Jaron hold on? He's looking good so far. As I said, this will be his first win of the season if he can pull it off. And this is going to be a great points race for Tommy Bordeaux. And same token to that, Brandon Bennett, Matt Burgess and Robert still circulating in 5th.
This is looking to be a great battle for the lead as well.
As we come around with 3.5 laps to go, it is absolutely tight racing here for the first 2 positions. And even for 3rd and 4th, we've got a battle between Brandon Bennett and Matt Burgess. But we're focusing on the lead battle here. 3 laps to go right now at the line. Jaron's driving really defensively. He doesn't want Tommy to get a run on him anywhere. Trying to emulate his line from the front. And just in a quick little update, Matt Burgess has gotten the 3rd position from Brandon. And Tommy is coming. He is absolutely on Jaron's ass. 2 laps to go. Tommy has a run down low on Jaron in 1 and 2. Can he hold on to it? Not quite. Jaron's moment.
Pace on the top.
I was just about to say Jaron's momentum up high was far too great. As we come around, white flag, last lap, last chance to win it all, wear it for Jaron and Tommy. Tommy goes down onto the apron to try and initiate a move down low, couldn't quite get it going. Jaron's taking the Larson line, Tommy pressuring him up on the higher line there as well. Tommy's got the run down low, Diamond off the corner, he's got the speed, but does he have what it takes to get him in 3 and 4? They're absolutely side by side coming through the corner. Jaron's got the momentum up high. Tommy down low. Jaron's muffed it up. He's hit the wall. And he's given Tommy Bordeaux the win in round number 7 of the Output Racing League here at the Las Vegas Speedway. Tommy Bordeaux wins. Jaron Sanchez P2. Matt Burgess P3.
I think we have 2 first podium finishes in the mix here. Jaron Sanchez.
Yes, this is
the 12 of Matt Burgess.
Yes, this is definitely first podium for Matt Burgess and for Jaron this season. We're gonna go have a look at Tommy. I'm pretty sure this is actually Tommy's first win of the season as well. Is Tommy gonna do a burnout? There we go. Burnout time. Alrighty guys, we're going to go take a quick break, and when we come back we will be talking to the podium getters and the hard charger. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And instead of doing our normal thing where we go through the podium, we're going to do two things at once to reveal our hard charger of the race was our third place getter, Matt Burgess. Matt, man, third place. This is your first podium of the season. How do you feel, man?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I really don't like Vegas, so I'm surprised I'm up here.
Yeah, well, going from 10th to third is no mean feat either, man. So, tell us a little bit about your race strategy and how you were able to pull it off, and what happened with that crash earlier on in the race.
With the crash, Charles, he was up and high, he spun and up against the wall in three, and then he came down. I think he was going to come down all the way. Then he did. So went to go high, then he went back up high, and I just caught him in the rear. There was nowhere to go. It was just a matter of not knowing where he was going to go. Um, as far as my race, I was basically just trying to save tires because I knew on the longer runs on this, when it gets slicker, that with my alignment stuff, I should maintain speed. And then with the pit stops and stuff, I short pit, and the caution came out, but I was a lucky dog, so I got obviously really lucky there. And then that restart, I knew it was going to be fast, but then I had two guys spin tires in front of me, and I got through it, and it was just a matter of hanging on after that.
Well, man, it definitely looked like a little bit of a sticky situation with that crash. But you know what? Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah, especially at Vegas. There's so much that can go wrong here when you're coming out of these corners.
All right, man. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out while you're here?
Just to the Output Racing League for putting this on. It's a good time. A little late for me, but I really enjoy staying up and running these races.
All right, no worries, man. Well, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on P3 and Hard Charger. You are now in the running for a $5 gift voucher supplied by Speedway Memes at the end of the season.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, guys, that was the third place getter of Matt Burgess. Coming up next, we have the one and the only league owner and operator coming out of P2, Mr. Jaron Sanchez. Jaron, man, you were in the lead for a long time there. What happened on the start of that final lap? Jaron. Jaron, do you have a copy?
There you are, dude. I think you just glitched out. What's up?
No, not much, man. We were just saying, you had the lead for a long time there towards the end of the race. What happened coming up to that final lap?
The final lap, I overdrove turn one a little bit because I knew Tommy was going to send it in, and I tried to send it too, and I just overdrove turn one a little bit, and then that pretty much gave the race away. I almost got it back and forth, but got tight. But man, it was fun.
We noticed earlier on in one of your green flag pit stops there that you might have overdriven your box a little bit.
Yeah.
How much did you overdrive your box?
It wasn't too bad, but it was enough to be like 5 seconds behind the leader. But luckily, I spent a lot of time practicing this track 2 days ago because this is my favorite, well, not my favorite track, but one of my best tracks. So I spent a lot of time practicing, and I was still able to run them down. But man, then that caution came out, and I stayed out because I wanted the track position. And Tommy had a little bit better tires on me, but it was a fun race.
It definitely looked like a fun race from our perspective, and I know that your little cheerleader there in chat is going to be absolutely overjoyed when you go to see her.
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah,
anyone?
she watches all the races.
Is there anyone that you want to shout out while you're here, man?
Well, let's see. Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast for sure. You and Brogan do a good job, and thanks to the other racers for racing nice and clean. And of course, my wife and my daughter, they're always on my mind, and you know, can't really think of anything else.
Would you like to also thank your pit crew for making sure to put the fuel in your car?
Yeah, they didn't forget the fuel this time, so man, it feels good to just like finish well and not run out of fuel for sure.
All right, awesome. Thank you for your time, Darren,
All
and
right,
congratulations on your first podium of the year.
all right. Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, guys, that was the number four, Darren, the league owner and operator, and quite frequent visitor to the petrol station. Coming up next, we have the guy that won the race, Tommy Bordeaux. Man, tell me about those last couple of laps, man. You were absolutely coming at Darren with his older tyres.
Yeah, I'll tell you what there, Corey. Some races you show up to and you're kind of maybe off in practice. You don't have the speed you would have liked, and uh, then by the end of the race, you wind up in victory lane. And I think that's kind of what happened here today. Uh, had a great opportunity there with the late restart, starting up front or near the front to get the win. And luckily, just kind of worked out well. Jared and I raced each other clean and hard at the end there. I know for points wise, I didn't need to win. All I needed was a good second place, but I felt like if I had an opportunity to take it, I would. And coming off a two there, had it, and then we were side by side throughout 3 and 4. And I got to tell you, Corey, it was a lot of fun. I hope the fans at home watching enjoyed that, and because I know I had a blast.
Well, I know that we had an absolute ball watching it. It was a great race all over. There was a couple of moments of three wide, but you were up the front for most of the race there, and we saw some issues for some of your main title rivals there in Steve and even in Thomas. So, a solid second place would have been good, but that winner's always better, isn't it?
It sure is, Corey. I'll tell you what, wins always feel good. I won here. This is, I think, my only win of the season last year in the Truck Series season, and ended up winning the championship there. So this is a good omen for that. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, good day, good points day. Just happy for this finish here. Everybody with TommyBordeaux.com, phenomenal website and a phenomenal car. Thank you guys for broadcasting, of course. Jared for putting on a league. Too bad my friend Austin Hakes didn't have that great of a race, but I know he'll rebound next week, and I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure.
All right, no worries, Sam. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the win. I'm pretty sure this puts you on top of the standings overall as well.
Yeah, I think it does.
Alrighty, guys. So this will be the end of our broadcast here. On behalf of myself and for Brogan, I'd like to thank you all for coming out. This has been an absolutely amazing race. Thank you to the sponsors, uh, Output Racing League. Obviously the league that we're broadcasting, Aussie Sim Commentator, which is us doing the broadcasts. All the drivers, Jaron for putting on the league. And also thank you to Speedway Memes who are putting up the $5 for the Hard Charger Award. And you know what? We will see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.